Hey guys, look what I have here. This is a very special car, and there's not many of these around. This is a 1998 Nissan 240 SX SE Special Edition. This is an original owner, owned by a lady who treated this like it was her baby, and she commuted on it for years and years. She bought it brand new. Previously, she had another 240 SX, and that one had like the flip-up headlights. This one's got the projector beam headlights. It looks so much better. This is the color to get. This car, if you don't know anything about these 240 SXs, they're extremely popular. People love these cars. They just don't make these high-quality Nissans anymore. The Nissans that you have these days are some of the worst cars on the road, and these are some of the best. This one is an automatic, and it's completely stock. It's unmolested. So that's an extremely rare thing in itself to have, because most of these cars are completely modded out. So this is a very special car. And get this car is unmolested. No one changed it. This belonged to a lady who treated this car like a lady. No burnouts, nothing. So it's completely stock from the wheels to the radio. Still uses a tape deck. Absolutely stock. Only 114,000 miles. Let's check out some of the features in this Nissan 240 SX. This is a car that really stands the test of time. It is from 1998, and when you compare it to cars that were in 1998, this looks beautiful. This is a cool looking car. Just the lines in itself and the headlights make this car extremely special. And of course, this is one of the best colors for the car as well. The entire shape of this car looks fantastic. It is very unique. The 300ZX, they made it up to 1996, I believe. That sold more, but yet this car is more valuable than the 300ZX. And the 300ZX was becoming extremely expensive. This was the budget sports car. And that's the reason a lot of women bought this, because a lot of the guys, they went and bought the 300ZXs. When you look at this car, it still looks very contemporary, and I think it still looks better than a lot of cars on the road. The interesting thing about this car, it was mostly bought by women when it first came out, and now It's owned mostly by guys who want to do drifting. And this is a very, very popular car. It's quite amazing. Everything about this car is completely stock. It's only got 114,000 miles. Now the downside is that it's an automatic, but this is a Nissan that's very unlike the Nissans of modern times. This is a very well built Nissan. When you're driving around this thing, it hugs the corners really well. The motor doesn't have a lot of power, and you can tell that it doesn't have a lot of power, but it still feels like a really, really fun car. It's got rear wheel drive, so if you give it a little bit of gas, it does spin the rear wheels pretty easily. I was amazed that just by turning the wheel and then stepping on it, it does break traction, and it is a fun car to drive. The Scotty Kilmer on YouTube loves this thing more than his Toyota Celica, and he would buy this instead of the Celica. That's a lot to say about Scotty Kilmer wanting this car. The 240SX looks beautiful. Even from the front end, it's got the projector beam headlights. It's got like a beautiful red paint. This looks absolutely fantastic. Now, getting into this car feels a little bit different than most cars. You do sit pretty low. If you have any knee problems or disabilities, this is not a good car for it. It does take a little bit of work to kind of get out, but it's not like it's a very extreme sports car. Sport cars are even like further down, but this one could be used as a daily commuter, and most of these cars were used as daily commuters. The one interesting thing is that you do sit almost with your legs completely extended, and oftentimes in modern cars you do have more of a sitting position like this, but this is a very sporty feel that this car has. Driving this thing around feels extremely good. You can tell where the power is in the rear wheels, and it's very ergonomically made. It's very simple everywhere. So what you have here is the air conditioning. Pretty simple way of adjusting the air conditioning, and the air conditioning does work in this car, which is pretty unbelievable. A 90s car would not be complete without a tape deck. You can see this still uses a tape deck, and it's very cool. One of the first things that people do is remove it, but this one's completely stock, and I think that's the beauty of it. Like, nobody has touched anything. Everything works. The cassette works. You have your automatic right here. It's an automatic transmission, which is the downside of this car, but it's all stock. Here's your handbrake, and then here is the way you adjust your mirrors. It's kind of odd that Nissan decided to put it here. And then you have the typical 90s coin slots, which are gone from every single car in the world. So this is your storage in the car. It doesn't have very much, and actually I don't even think it's got a cup holder. This, I guess, would do as the cup holder, even though it's square. And it's kind of neat. I have my garage door opener here. There's this little plastic thing that fits in between here and this slot to divide the cup holder from whatever storage that you have. And then here you have a pretty decent sized pocket for putting your wallet and your phone. This is pretty nice. Even though it isn't meant for a phone, you can put a phone here and it rests pretty well. I think this was kind of like here so you can put a larger radio if you wanted. Now the back seats are almost useless for a person. There's no, and it's very difficult to get in here too. There's not a lot of space there for a human. Maybe a kid would fit in here, but it's just not very usable. There are these hooks and you pull it down, and look at this. You have some space to put stuff. So if you did increase that, you could put some bigger items, but the trunk is very shallow. It's not very deep, so you're not going to be fitting a lot of stuff in there. Is your jack. 1998 is the S14 that was made from 1995 to 1999. It comes with the dual overhead cam, otherwise known as the KA24DE. Now, this is probably one of the more popular cars for drifting, and of course you do have to pay what's called, quote unquote, the drift
This
tax. SC version, the only thing that it comes with is the sunroof and then the side skirts that were standard on the SC. SC version also came equipped with the 5-lug 16-inch alloy wheels and stiffer suspension than the base model, and a rear sway bar. The Nissan 240 has been a popular choice in motorsport known as drifting. Although it was never marketed to the drifting community during its release, it was adopted in Japan during the discovery age of drifting. The drift tax is a term used to refer to this sharp rise in price as the demand has increased along with the popularity of the sport. One of the popular things with the 240SX that it's easy to drift. The 240SX is one of the most popular cars used for the sport. So while drifters love and respect that 240SX just as much as a tuner, they demand a lot more from the SX than others. Prices of the 240SX are steadily going up as millennials get older and drifting becomes more popular. As the car gets older, buyers are going to pay more and more for those rare untouched 240s. So be sure to keep all the original parts if you ever buy one. Well guys, that's the 240SX SC. I hope you enjoyed it. Make sure you hit subscribe and like the video and comment, and I'll see you in the next video.
Hey, I'm Anthony, the Vehicle Hunter. Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube page and please like us on Facebook. Vehicle Hunter.